All right, gang, welcome back to our one-tile challenge here on Calmlands. It's September. We've got a lot to do today. These sheep are completely out of grass. Was not expecting that. They are completely out of grass. We have no grass left in here. Good thing our grass is good to mow. I'm reconsidering potentially going back to some bales once we start clearing out a little bit more of this grass area, because we said we are going to take up a little bit more of that grass area, because eventually the whole point of the grass is just for the sheep. But we're in a bit of a pickle here. We're going to have to mow that and get them some food, because they're not producing anything for us right now. I'm going to go ahead and start with removing both of those sheds. There's a reason for this. One, we're going to be putting down a production today. It's going to take up a good chunk of our money. It might actually put us in a bit of a hardship for being able to move to the next stage of the house, but that's okay. I think this is one of the next steps we need to make that's going to be extremely useful for us. I'm going to move this stuff out of the way, first of all. We might have to do a little land manipulation here. As a matter of fact, I would suspect we're going to have to do some land manipulation here. I don't see any way that we wouldn't. We have 1 pallet of fine salt to sell today, which is going to help with being able to do the next stage of the house. But if we can't get everything done for the house, we can't get everything done, right? It is what it is. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing well. Things are, for the most part, pretty good here. We need to move that header out of the way. I need to move these boxes out of the way. I think I can just kind of push these boxes, just gloss over this for a minute. I'm going to push the boxes here. Just push them out of the way. We don't need to push them that far. Ugh. Just for the time being, while I try to see if this is going to work or not. If it doesn't work, well, then I just kind of wasted my time, and I guess a little bit of your time watching me move all that stuff, but that's okay. We don't have anything to harvest today. Today is going to be a drilling day, almost entirely, but we've got to get some of the stones up, too. And what I'm planning to put down here has to do with the stones. I also have all the icons on, so just, ignore that for a minute. Well, they'll go back off here soon, but I want them all on for now while I figure out how I'm going to put this thing down. But it has to do with the stones, right? So I talked a long time ago how I wanted to get a production, after we were able to find something to get the stones up, that I would get a production where we could utilize the stones to make lime. That's what I'm trying to accomplish today. Now, we got rid of these sheds, and you're going to be like, well, what are you going to do with all this stuff? It's not really supposed to be out in the open. That's what you've been talking about since the beginning. You're correct. It's not. What we're going to put down, I don't know if everything's going to fit in there. We might have to put down another shed, but what we're going to put down, in theory, has room for us to be able to place these items back in there. So, what are we doing? Well, let's go into the factories here. Let's go all the way down. I've got a lot of stuff installed right now, so just gloss over that for a minute. We're going to do this lime production. It's a custom stone crusher. I thought about doing this one. This is still potentially an option if this other item that I want to put down doesn't work. This is very small. Probably a more realistic situation for us would be to utilize this. Using this one, though, would mean we'd have to use the bucket, which I'm fine with, but it means we'd have to have a space to drop all the stones on the ground and then utilize the bucket to go and unload into this. You can't just take it directly from the stone. What do you call that? What is this called? A stone picker? I don't know. What do you call it? Anyway, you can't just unload it directly from the stone picker into the actual, this little tiny production here. It has to be picked up by a bucket and dropped up from above. So it's very nice because it's very small and condensed, but, it's another stage that has to be done where what I want to put down, it's big, but obviously, as you can tell, it has an actual grate where you can literally just, go and unload it, similar to what we're doing with the road salt, right? And then it has this little nice shed here where it's open. Again, will it fit both of them? I'm looking at it now, probably not. But we'll see if we can figure something else out for that. Now, I don't think it's going to spawn, pallets of lime. I think it'll just, if you're looking at it from this angle, that little chute is just going to drop out of that, I think. But here we go. We got overlaps with something. I don't know. Maybe there's some grass or something there, or maybe it's this production here that's causing issues. If I turn this on, I'm afraid it's going to be kind of floating, and I don't really want it to float. We've got a tiny bit of floating over here on this salt marsh, but it's not too noticeable. Probably is now that I called it out, but really, I kind of want this like here. It's going to take up a little bit of the grass. Fully understand that. I don't know. We can try We can try to do a little leveling here and see what happens. It's definitely something to do with this over here. It doesn't really let me level it like I want, if that makes sense. It only lets me level it to here, which, I mean, I guess it makes sense. You're now getting kind of close into... Alright, we're going to try that. I spent a ton of money there. It was like $2 grand on that. But we're going to try that and see if this works. And then I can try to smooth things out, right? Try to make it less of an incline here, if at all possible. Yeah, see, that's the problem. It's just not quite, So, if we change the cursor strength again... Might have to move those boxes some more. Okay, let's see if that gets us to where we need to be. Man, I've spent a lot of money on this. I'm just wasting money here. I really want to put this down, though. I really want this production. I mean, maybe something like that might work. Let's see how to do. I mean, we're definitely going to have to smooth this out, and that's fine. This is going to be an awkward little area here, I think. I think it's going to be all right. We obviously smooth it out a little bit, but I think it'll be okay. I think it'll be all right. I think it'll be all right. So let's spend a little bit of time smoothing it out, and let's just see what it looks like. And if it doesn't look good, it does. I guess we'll have to see what else we can do to try to fix it. But I'm not liking this at all. I'm going to be honest with you. I am not liking this at all. It is not smoothing out kind of how I wanted. Well, I'm leveling. I'm not even doing the right thing. Well, maybe that's why. But that's probably going to actually help that I did that, though, I'm going to be honest with you, because it's pulling it out a little bit more, so it's less of a severe incline onto the slope, if that makes sense. I think this is going to work, gang. The more I'm looking at this, I think this is going to work. Surprisingly enough. Yeah, you're going to have a bit of a drop off there, but I don't think that's really that unrealistic. I think this is going to be okay. I think it's going to be alright. I mean, we're spending every bit of money that we got here, though. I mean, every bit of money. Okay, well, let's try driving over it. That's going to be the key there, right? Driving it is going to tell us if it's sufficient or not. It's a bit of a slope there, but I don't think that's terrible. I don't think that's bad at all. I think that's perfectly fine. We're going to have to put some grass back down back here, but... How about over here? No, I think that's perfectly fine, man. I'm relatively happy with that. And I don't think if I didn't level out this area over here, I don't think it would have really... you know, worked properly. I'm just hopeful that this is, even though this is kind of up in the air, I'm hopeful that it's still going to work. Well, evidently those are going to stay there, so that's a little annoying. I wish those went away. Well, I'll tell you what, let's try it. Just gonna drop this off over here for now. We're gonna have to rework the whole yard because we moved everything all out of the way, so everything's kind of a mess. It's just kind of scattered everywhere, but that can come with time. That's not that big of a deal. Let's just make sure that this is able to be unloaded in here. Yeah, it's allowing me to dump stones. I think this is going to work out well. It's unfortunate we had to spend near 20 grand on it, but yeah, I think that's going to work. It needs water, though, too. Okay, all right, that's fine. We can get some water in there, and that's not a problem. The store's a lot. Okay. Well, I think we have our production here. I mean, the tractor's in the way, of course it is. But I think we have our production here, so this is good, right? Nope, just run right into it, Z. Good job, buddy. Okay, so that's good. Hopefully I'll be able to unload that into the trailer. If I can't, then we've got another problem. I'm hopeful this is all going to work out as I want, but you know, you never know, right? I didn't do a whole lot of testing on this. I just kind of looked at it and I said, yes, this should work. It looks good. I honestly like where I placed it. I think it's a good spot. Okay, so it should be making lime. It is. It's making lime very quickly. Okay, so that's a little unrealistic. And by a little unrealistic, I mean it's a lot unrealistic. I mean, it just chewed through pretty much all the stones in a few seconds. Well, we're not going to be utilizing lime all that much. Selling lime, I'm not really quite sure. Maybe I just limit that I'm not allowed to sell the lime? That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, though, does it? Yeah, well, I mean, lime doesn't really fluctuate all that much from what I can tell here, at least. It's, you know, $30 a fluctuation. We didn't really want to do something super unrealistic. This is pretty unrealistic because the stones are already done. I think it's alright. We're going to leave it. We're going to leave it. We're going to leave it. Whether that's the right or the wrong thing to do, we're going to leave it, gang. Yeah, we'll leave it. Okay, so let me. We've got a lot of stuff we have to do today. It's another jam-packed day full of stuff to do. But before we get started with, especially the sheep, right? That's got to get done. What I want to do is try to put some of these in their location and see if it's going to work or not. What I mean by that is how much room does that actually provide us as far as storage goes. In other words, can I fit this in here? And can I fit the harvester header in here? From what I can see right now and how wide this is, I'm saying no, I cannot. It looks like it's one, and then maybe we could put something else in there. Right? Maybe we could put something in there that is currently in the shed, and then maybe we can open up some room to put, you know, something else in the shed. I don't know. I'm just talking. We probably could put them behind each other, though, right? Because you're only going to be... Well, I guess that's not 100% true. I was going to say, you're only going to be doing the drilling. You're not going to be doing the drilling and the harvesting at the same time. That's not exactly true. You will be doing that. Alright, what are we going to do with this header, then? Because that is not going to fit in there. We only have $3,412, so it's not a ton of money. It's not a lot of money, even, at all. Yeah, it's just not quite wide enough. We can stick it right here. It's not a problem, but you know, trying to get the drill out now is going to be difficult, right? You're going to have to come in here and move this every single time. I don't necessarily know if that's something I want to do, right? I would say we could put the planter in here, but the problem is the header here for the harvester and the drill, neither one of those will fit into our shed that we have over here, right? The door is not wide enough, so that's the big problem. I do not know what to do here, gang. I'm going to be honest with you. I do not know what to do. What I do know we need to do, though, is get mowing going here, and so we can actually get the sheep back in a good spot, because right now they are not in a good spot. They have no food at all. They are not producing anything for us. We want them to continue to produce stuff because we want to continue to make clothes. The house is coming together, though, as you can see. It's looking really nice up there. Really nice. I think it still has quite a few stages left, though. I truly think we're going to have to do some prefab walls at some point, right? I've mentioned a lot. I've got a lot of ideas for in and around the house area, but the house needs to be done because it's taken up a lot of space, really, if you look at it. It's got that fence, right, which obviously that fence is just a standard fence that's utilized for all the different construction projects, but our house is not going to be to the length of that fence, right? So we're going to have a little bit more room we can play with once the house and project is done, meaning we can put some stuff up near it that we may want to do. I'm not going to give anything else away besides that, besides the fact that I have plans to put some stuff up in, near, and around the house. This is some of the flatter land that we have, as a matter of fact, up here by the house. That's the reason why the construction project is there. A little bit easier to manage, and we don't have a floating house or anything like that. We certainly don't want that, right? How's everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing well. Things are good here. All things considered, things are good. It's been a bit of a, well, I guess it's been a bit of a couple of months for me. If you're not a part of my Discord, there's a link down below in the description, so check that out. But I haven't been commenting and replying as much as I normally would like to on there, and it's just due to my current situation with work. So I mentioned this, and I'm not looking for sympathy or anything. That's not what I'm looking for. I like to be transparent with all of you, and if you're new here, something you'll learn about me is I like to be transparent. I like to tell you what's going on in my life, whether you want to hear about it or not. I still like to tell you about it, so you know where I'm at and what's going on. My job that I have is extremely demanding job. In case you don't know, and you just stumbled across, I'm a project manager for a small software company. So I'm kind of the front, on the front lines, right? So when things are going good, I get credit for things going good. When things are going bad, I'm the one that's getting screamed at, right? So we're kind of in that latter stage right now where things aren't going as well as we had hoped. And really the problem for me comes to play is that our clients come to us with some arbitrary date that they haven't talked to us about before, and then just say, figure out a way to make it work, right? And that's not really a good way to do a project or to run a timeline of any sort for implementation of software, in my opinion. So it's been a bit of a struggle for me lately, and been working a lot of hours, and when I'm not working, I'm stressed beyond, well, I'm stressed when I'm working. I guess I shouldn't say it that way. I'm always stressed, I guess is what I'm saying. This game allows me to have a little bit of relief. I love playing this game. I love doing videos. I've got lots of different ideas in my brain to make up videos like this one, the one tile challenge, right? So it's a nice relief to get in to play this game, but the problem sometimes comes into play that I get home from work and I feel like doing nothing. I almost feel like just vegging. Because you're just so worn out mentally, right, from the day. I'm not saying that this game makes me worn out mentally, because it doesn't, but sometimes you're just not in the right mindset, I guess is how I'll put it. I want to try to make sure my videos, for the most part, every time I do a video, comes off with enjoyment. Like, I'm excited, right? I'm enthusiastic about what I'm doing, and I for the last month, man, it's been a struggle for me to get to that point, to be enthusiastic to do videos. A lot of the videos I've been doing, full transparency, have been on the weekends, which so is this one, and then I just try to edit them throughout the week whenever I have the time, right? So it's just been, normally when I would come home from work, if my wife and I weren't doing anything, right, I would try to get 1, maybe 2 done a day. It always wouldn't happen, but I'd at least try to get 1 and done a day, and lately that hasn't been happening. So because of this work situation I'm in, for a while there, for like a week, it started to slow down. I'm like, okay, whew, maybe I'll finally get get a little bit of relief, and I'll get back in the groove here. And then it wasn't even, I guess it wasn't even a full week. Started right back up again. So it's just it's a really, really busy time right now, and I'm struggling a little bit, I guess is how I'll put it. I don't want to go into any more detail than that. Now, again, I'm not looking for sympathy, anything like that. I just want to be transparent with you, right? That's the reason why I haven't been replying as soon as I normally would, or commenting back, or whatever it may be. I just, unfortunately, I'm just not, the mindset wasn't there, right? So anyway, we'll leave it at that. We'll move on from there. I don't want to sit here and turn into a complaining situation. That's not the point of it. I just, like to make sure that you're aware of what's going on in my life and what's happening, and maybe why I'm taking longer than I normally would to reply. So my apologies. We'll move on. 10 o'clock already. Man, we spent a long time and a lot of money working on that lime production. Well, I'll just run right into the roller there. Good job, Z. Way to go, buddy. We spent a long time doing that, but I think it was worth it. It's very unrealistic, so we kind of have to limit ourselves on that one, I think, a bit too. But the other thing to think about here is it's stones, right? Right now, we have an absolute astronomical amount of stones on our fields because we haven't had anything to pick them up, so they've just been continuing to accumulate, right? Once we get those stones up, it's not going to be, they're not going to have tons of stones every single time moving forward, right? It's certainly going to happen, but it won't be as many as we have now, right? So it almost will limit us by itself. So yeah, I think as long as we just kind of limit what we would sell from the lime production, I think we'll be okay. And what I mean by that is we can go ahead and put as much rocks in there as we want. We really don't care how fast it produces it, as long as if we're in a situation where we're going to sell it, we don't go in there and be like, well, I've got 20,000 liters of lime, I'm going to sell all 20,000 liters. That's not what we're going to do. Trying to keep with that same mindset that I'm trying to keep this series as not utilizing super unrealistic productions. And if we are utilizing them, we have to limit it. I think it makes sense. Hopefully it makes sense, and hopefully everyone's on board with that one. All right, so $3,449. We should get over $5,000 by the time we are done selling the fine salt down there. Which will be good, right? That'll hopefully get most of what we need to do for the construction project accomplished. I need to look at I look at these every single episode. I know I do, and I'm sorry, but my brain just doesn't remember them, I guess. I need to look at the crawfish and see if they're decent to sell, because it might be beneficial for us to sell 1 or 2 pallets of that, even if it's not the best, just so we can get to the next stage here of the house. I want to keep the house production going, or construction project going, I should say. I don't really want that to hinder us, you know what I mean? So I want to keep it going. I want to get it to the next stage. I want to get it done, really, if I'm honest with you. So that way we can do some other things I want to do up here around the house, like I mentioned. I did see a couple comments from a couple of my regulars in my Discord that said, they feel my pain. They're in a similar situation that I am in, maybe not exactly the same. So hopefully it gets better for all of you as well. That's the beauty of this game, though, right? It gets your mind off of that kind of stuff. Granted, I'm talking about it right now again, but you get what I mean, right? It's a little bit of a break from reality, if you will. So today, this morning, I like going to flea markets. We're just talking in general. We're not talking about this series. We're talking in general. I like going to flea markets. So today I thought, you know what? I haven't been to the flea market in probably 3 months, and I normally would try to go, a couple times a month. It's just around the corner from where I live, and I say around the corner. It's not just around the corner. It's a 10-minute, 15-minute drive at most. It's not far. So I thought, you know what? I'd go today. It's not rainy. It is very foggy. Nobody was there. So I kind of wasted a drive there. I guess it was nice just to drive there, but I kind of wasted gas and mileage on the car, I guess, to get there. But it was unfortunate. I was really looking forward to checking some stuff out. I mean, it should be pretty obvious. I've mentioned many times on the channel that I'm a big fan of old stuff. I like old stuff a lot. Old tractors, just old stuff in general. And so, flea markets are fun, man. I like going in there and just seeing what I find, right? I guess it's my uncle by marriage. Is that right? Cousin by marriage? I don't know. Anyway, he's an avid. He goes all the time. So a lot of the times I try to just, get in contact with him and go with him to the flea markets. He knows a lot more about stuff than I do. You never know, right? You might find something good there that maybe makes sense. It's fun. But yeah, there was nobody there at all. So that was unfortunate. I really expected it to be, jam-packed. Yeah, it's foggy, but there really wasn't any kind of chance for rain of any sort. It's hot, a little muggy, but it wasn't like outrageously hot, if that makes sense. I think it's like 80 degrees right now, which is hot, very, very hot. But yesterday, I think, or 2 days ago, it was like almost 90 degrees. So it's a 10-degree difference. It's not really going to help that much in the humid Ohio, but I just thought there would be a lot of people there today, and there just wasn't. So I literally drove there and turned right back around and came home. And now I'm doing this video. All right, we are full. I think I might have been full for a little while. I didn't really pay attention to it. I was just talking away. Let's go drop all this off as much as we can, at least for the sheep. And I'm going to try to keep a little bit more grass this time than we did last time. Because we ran out, clearly, and the sheep still needed stuff, so. Looks like we've got our second pallet of eggs finally started, which is great. I mean, it's just taking a long time. We need to upgrade that, too. I've mentioned that, I think, but we do. We really need to upgrade that, too. All right, so the sheep are full. So I think maybe the remaining grass that we have, we might just go ahead and just save all of that grass into here for the sheep, because they're going to need it. We probably need to top them off with some water as well. I actually didn't look at that. I'm going to go look at that right now while this is unloading. I assume they need water, too. They do. They have 388 liters, so they're okay for the time being, but they need water. Their health is at 0. They've ate all the meadow grass around here. There's no meadow grass remaining. But there's 29 animals in there. It doesn't look like it, but evidently there's 29 animals, and they're all full age, too, right? So that's something else we could potentially do if we need money, right? We could sell a couple of our sheep. That allow them to continue to reproduce again, right? So that's an option. I'm not sure exactly how much they're worth. Quick autosave here. I guess we're not where we weren't going to anyway, but I guess if we wanted to change anything, we can't do it now. So the 40-month ones are worth $400. That's not bad. Yeah, we can make some decent money. Well, there's only one of those, I guess, of each. But $390 for the 35 months. We got a couple of those, right? Yeah. So it's not terrible. Now, not only do we have to pick up the grass here, we've got straw we got to pick up today to do too, and we also need to do drilling today. We've got a lot to do today. This is, I don't know, was it 2 episodes back, I guess? I said the onslaught begins, and that's what this means. Like, we just got a lot to do. There is a lot to do. Matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? This is going to sound crazy. This is going to sound crazy. I'm going to hook up the drill. I shouldn't even put this away. We've got to figure out something to do with this header and the drill. It's not going to work. Both of them are not going to work in there. I might put like the rice harvester or something in there with it, because that might work. But both of these are not going to work. Alright, I'm going to put this just, we'll put it right here for now. Probably in the way, but we'll put it right there for now. I'm going to put a worker on starting to do the drilling of the one field that we got all the rocks out of in the last episode. I should have probably started this already, but, you know, whatever. So we'll put canola in. I like that canola. We also can probably, you know, take a look at least and see how our mill is doing. We've got that mill down. I can see some pallets over there. We already knew there were pallets. I got to take one pallet of wool over as well to Grandma's knitwear. I probably should come over here and plow up this stuff that wasn't really plowed up properly in the last episode, but that's all right. Okay, I don't really know what you're doing. Okay. Whatever. Anyway, so we'll get him going there. We'll get the rest of this mowing done here. And then we'll start working on the rocks again. That'll probably be good if I dropped it down there, wouldn't it? Way to go, Z. Way to go, buddy. Anyway. We'll get this rest of this done, and then we're going to jump into the stone picker, and we're going to get the rocks up off the rest of these fields. Because we want 3 fields of canola again, honestly. Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe we won't do 3. Maybe we only do 2. I don't know yet. But if we're going to do canola, it has to be done today. This is the last day to do canola. We have 1 more month for the wheat and the barley. So if we're going to do it, however many fields we're going to do, they have to be done today. So get the worker on the one. We'll see where we get to as far as the other ones go. But nonetheless, we do have to get the rocks up. We're going to have to do lime as well. So that's a good thing, right? We've got some lime now because we're able to crush those rocks into lime. But there's some lime in pallets that we have over there by the seeds and everything else, which I'd like to use that first before we start utilizing the lime out of our production. But that's good, though, right? We've got a production for lime now, and it means that's one less thing we have to go and purchase at the shop. Granted, lime is not super expensive, but, you know, still, it's $500 a pallet, something like that, right? So that's $500 back every single time we need to do lime, which is, I think, a good thing. So let's get to work. There's not much grass left here to do. It shouldn't take us long. And then we'll jump straight into the stone picking, and we'll try to get those fields done as well. Okay, the fields are all done with picking up the stones. Worker finished obviously the drilling of the one field. I've already got the other tractor over here. It's going to need some more fertilizer. We're going to do this field in canola, and you might be asking, well, why are you going to do the smaller of the two fields in canola? Well, I've got an idea. So I mentioned I want to try to kind of break up when we're harvesting things, drilling maybe not so much, but when we're harvesting things. And we now have a planter. It's not a very wide planter, but we got a planter nonetheless. So we can do soybeans and sorghum, which we have not been able to do up until this point. I want to put soybeans in this field. So I want to have a big field of soybeans as well. I think that makes a lot of sense. More than likely what's going to happen with the grass field here, whenever we decide to turn this into another field, I'll probably put sorghum in there. As I mentioned, I would like to eventually expand our chicken coop and make it a lot bigger. And sorghum is a good crop for the chickens. It's a very inexpensive crop. So it's a perfect crop to feed to the chickens, right? So when that time comes, that's what we're going to do. I've got grand ideas. I'm telling you, I know we're making progress, but we're not anywhere near being done with this series anytime soon. We've got a lot of ideas. There's a lot of things I still want to implement. Excuse me. So we're nowhere near done. Let's put it that way. So I'm not as concerned about things taking longer to do because we're moving things around or whatever it is we decide to do, right? Not that concerned about it. Now, we need solid fertilizer for that drill. It may get most of the field done, but it's not going to get all of it done. But the beauty is we need to put some lime down on the canola field that we've already drilled. And there should be, solid fertilizer in here. This should be plenty for the drill to be able to accomplish that. Now, we're probably going to have to buy more by the next episode, I'm sure. But for the time being, this should be plenty. So we'll go ahead and unload this there. And then I'll get a worker going on this field. And we're going to take care of doing the lime on both these fields. And hoping that I'll be able to get the lime out of the actual production as well. Just from, from into this actual pallet itself here, or into the pallet. I say into the pallet, I mean, why can't I fill up the lime anymore? Okay, whatever. It won't let me fill the lime up anymore. Anyway, hopefully I can just, unload the lime directly into the hopper here versus having to unload it into a trailer or something like that, or a bucket, right? Hopefully. I'm not guaranteeing that's going to happen, but I'm hopeful that that is what will happen. So let's fill this thing up with some solid fertilizer here. We'll get the worker going, and like I mentioned, we'll do the lime. Shouldn't take us too long to do all that. Alright, get the worker set. Let it load the field. Perfect. It's on the worker. The worker is going and should be good to go for the remainder of that. Shouldn't be any reason for it to stop. So we're going to do this field over here first. We also have to roll these fields. But with the rocks gone, this should be really good, right? Not really utilizing or damaging the equipment anymore now that we're able to get rid of the rocks. And after this lime is gone and the other pallet that we have on the ground, the remainder, any other lime we utilize on our fields is going to be directly from us, right? We're not spending any money to buy lime. All really good things in my eyes. Now, I know understanding that I put the bees down here, and really you'd probably want the other side to be canola too, right? So you get the extra yield. We probably will eventually get to that point where the entirety of both these two fields where the bees are going to be canola from, all the time. But for right now, I'm okay with it not being that. We also have to get the straw up off the ground over there. We're probably going to have to do that in the next episode. The soybeans and the sorghum we can't drill anytime soon. We're going to wait till the next season to drill those. Which you might be saying, well, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Why would you wait? Well, if we don't, we're never going to be able to alternate what we're trying to put in the ground here, so we can have, two, at most 2, maybe 3 harvests to do, if that makes sense. And what I mean by that is, if we're able to break up when things are being harvested, we don't have to have such an onslaught of things to do in a 3-month period, which is, I don't know, I mentioned this a number of episodes ago that's what I wanted to try to get to. We now have the planter to be able to do so. And obviously, we already turned in 2 fields, one into a sunflower, one into a cornfield, right? So we've already started that process, but now it's just a matter of getting the soybeans and the sorghum going. Well, the sorghum's going to be a while, but the soybeans going at least in 1 field, because that is a different period of time to harvest that. So that's going to help us, right? I missed a little section there. That's all right. It's going to be a little strip down the middle again. Oh, well. And we are pretty much out, so we're going to go fill up the remainder of that. What's remainder? What's in the remainder of that pallet? And then I'm going to hope and pray that there's enough lime in there from those rocks. I don't know if there is. We might need more water in there, as a matter of fact. I really don't know how much water it actually takes. Let's look at that really quick. It does need more water. There's 5,213 liters of lime in there, though. That's likely going to be enough for us to at least finish the 1 field. It's looking like, actually, with, you know, how much lime we get, we might still be in a situation where we have to buy lime at some point, but so maybe we won't ever have to worry about selling any lime, because we'll probably be utilizing it the whole time. Yeah, perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. I wanted to be able to unload it right into there, and it works no problem. Now, really, you probably do the lime, honestly, before, you know, the drilling and everything, but, you know, the game doesn't really care, so. In real life, you probably would do it that way. Now, precision farming was not out when I started this series. I've mentioned that before, but in case you just stumbled across the series, whenever we do a Season 2 of this, which will happen, I've mentioned that already, it's a spoiler, and everyone should be aware of that, but when a Season 2 does happen for this, we will probably utilize precision farming for it, which is going to add another layer of complexity and difficulty. I'm going to be full transparent with you. I've only done precision farming for a brief period in FS22. I'm very inexperienced when it comes to precision farming. So when that Season 2 of this, I act like it's coming out anytime soon. It's a long ways away. We've got a long ways in this series before we're even ready to start that, or even think about starting that. But whenever that time comes, it's probably going to be pretty a learning curve for me a bit. I'll probably try to do some research to make sure I don't look like a complete fool. But like I mentioned, I've done it, but I'm relatively new at it. So knowing all the perfect things to do and the perfect order to do things in, I'm definitely not going to be that. But we'll get through it. We'll figure it out when that time comes. I'll probably be utilizing precision farming on another series before that would even happen anyway, more than likely. Now, the next thing I guess we need to do, as far as upgrades go to the farm, is get a bigger fertilizer and lime spreader. This one's fantastic. I like it a lot. But as you can see, I'm having to make a lot of trips, right? So if you have one that has a little bit of a bigger hopper to it, that can hold a little bit more, especially from the lime, that's going to help us out tremendously, right? It's going to be a nice long episode for you, so I know some of you really enjoy the long episodes, some don't, but this is going to be a long one. I think I talked at the beginning for like 30 minutes straight without any kind of a time lapse, so had a lot to say today, evidently. Mostly about my situation with work, but this is our own lime right here, gang. We're not spending a single dime on this, so I don't really care that much that I'm wasting some lime right now. I don't care. That's the beauty of having that production now. All right, the lime's all done. There's a tiny bit over there that's missed, but we have no more lime in our actual production until we put some more water in there. And it's such a small amount that it's not even worth spending the effort and time over there. We do need to do the rolling still. Might do a little bit of that off camera, or I might have the worker do a little bit of it, knowing that, you know, it probably doesn't really provide us a whole lot of extra profit. You've mentioned that many times before, and you're all correct about it. But still, should be done, right? We've got the means to do it, so we should do it. So I'm going to set a worker off doing the rolling right now, and then maybe we take over for the worker here in a bit. We've got to utilize the other tractor right now because we're wanting to... Why can't I... What is going on there? I was literally right behind it. It wasn't triggering for some reason. Weird. Anyway, we've got to sell some stuff. The crawfish, not good to sell. Eggs aren't terrible, but probably shouldn't really be sold either. But the salt, definitely need to sell that today. Today's the best time to sell it. We sold most of all that salt in the last episode, so fully expected not to have a whole lot, and we don't. But the last episode was a decent price, too, and we really needed the money, right, for that stone picker, right? So it was worth it in my eyes. All right, so put a worker on that. Go ahead and start here. Put this away. We're going to have to figure out something for the header of the harvester. Haven't fully figured that one out yet. For the time being, I think we can just go ahead and put it in there. It'll be temporary. Obviously, later on, we'll want to figure out somewhere else to put it, but I think we can go ahead and put it in there for now because we have nothing else to harvest, at least from the cereal crop kind of perspective. We're going to need some kind of a header for the sunflowers and for the corn. We already know there is one that we're utilizing in the Vintage Survival series if we have to. That's not an outrageous price that we can do, but... at least for now, we won't be utilizing this header until next season. So for the time being, it's fine to be in here, but we really do need to find a better home for it. Whether that's the same type of home we've had it in the last time, where it's just got a little bit of a cover over it, or it's something else. We do need to find something else, or we need to find something for it, rather. I know I've said it many times, but we need to get a power spray of some sort. Our equipment is all extremely dirty. It is time to take care of that for sure. I'm going to see if I can fill this up a little bit. Okay, for a reason it's not letting me fill it up. I guess I'm not close enough. There it goes. Well, really wasn't a whole lot that could fit in there. I don't know how much is left in that pallet. 611 liters, so decent amount in there. But that pallet can stay where it is. It's fine. Right, so let's back this thing in there. Probably terribly, but let's back it in there nonetheless. I'll probably try to work on this a little bit more as well. Try to smooth it out a little bit. It's not terrible, this hill up to it, but I think we can kind of pull this out a little bit more and then smooth it down here and make it look a little bit more in line with this hill, if that makes sense. So it looks a little bit better. I think we can work on that. Alright, so let's go sell this pallet here. This should get us a little bit of money. Again, we're not going to be able to get to the full next stage, unfortunately, of the house like I had hoped. If we didn't have to do all of the land manipulation that we did, we probably had a chance. But yeah, it's just simply it's not going to happen. But maybe we can buy a few things for it. Who knows? Crawfish price right now is bad. We're not selling those. It's really bad. One thing we can check, though, I know the clothes aren't going to be good, but we can check the mill. We've got a couple things there in the mill, so we can check that. There might be something that's okay to sell now. That maybe will get us to that next stage. Is it the most ideal? No, definitely not. We probably want to keep that as long as we can, but if the price isn't terrible, I mean, I'm okay with it. Oh, we are maxed out already on flour. Oh, there's no more room to spawn flour. There's no more room, I should say, in the actual storage for flour. We're going to have to move those. Ooh, okay. Well, I'm glad I looked at that. Because if I move these the canola pallets out of the way, flour or even more canola, whatever it's going to be, is going to spawn. Hopefully flour. I need to realign that. That was not the best job there. I still didn't do a very good job. Come on, Z, get together, buddy. Let's see if I can get them to spawn and then stick these on top of it. That's what I wanted. I am not good at this, so if you're looking for expertise on putting the pallets down on top of the other ones, it's not me. I'm just okay enough to be dangerous, but this is not my expertise, so don't expect that at all, I guess is how I'm trying to put it. Something to spawn? Maybe? Please? No? Really? Okay, there we go. Flower spawned, finally. What are we going to do with this? It's a great question. I don't know what we're going to do with this. I guess that's the negative of having the small one here. Just there's not that much space in it. I'm gonna try this too. It's probably a mistake, but we're gonna try it. Alright, at least that gives a little bit more space for the flower, because it should be flower that spawns, hopefully. Is it perfect? No, but it gives a little bit more space. Alright, so we're at $5,661. Let's see what we can purchase here and hope for the best that we're going to be able to get most of the next level for the house. Before we do that really quick, because I'm going to forget, let's move this pallet of wool over. I don't want to forget to do that, and I will forget. Yep, more pallets of wool or flower spawns. So that's good. That gives us a little bit more space then. I'm just going to have to make sure I keep an eye on that. I'm going to have to continue to probably go over there and move those out of the way. Really, we probably need to start thinking about, although we're not driving that far. We're not taking it that far. I guess it is driving, but we're not taking the pallets that far, at least for the time being, for the sell point. But we probably need to think about getting some kind of a flatbed trailer of some sort. This can be turned into like a half, which you've seen before, right? We utilized it very beginning of the series when we had to for bales, but it doesn't give you a completely full flatbed, which is really what we probably want for all those pallets. So that's something we need to put on our list of so many things. We have so many things on our list, but that's something else we need to put on our list to potentially buy here soon is something for pallets like that, so we can move them around a little bit easier. Would also be ideal to get some kind of a pallet forklift or something like that. Okay, before I start buying it, what do we need? Cement bags and planks long. Yeah, we're not going to be able to get all these done today. Planks long, that's going to cost us $2,000 right there alone. But let's at least get started on it, right? Okay. And then the cement bags, I don't remember how much they are. I think there might be a chance we can get all this done. We're not going to have any money at all, but there might be a chance. No. No, they're $1,000 a piece. We've got $3,000 and we need $4,000. We're just very small amounts short from what we need. I'll buy 2 of them though for the time being, and we can see how it goes, I guess. I don't know. It only cost us $1,000 for 2. I thought it was more than that. Why did I look at that wrong? Maybe I was looking at it from a 2 perspective versus a 1. Okay, evidently I did not pick that up. Why was it up on top of the fork then if I didn't pick that up? Weird. I guess we are going to get there though. That's good. I was really not expecting us to be able to get to the next stage. No, we're not going to have any money for the next stage after this. But I guess we're going to get there. I think we needed 5, actually, because we needed slightly more. Yeah, we needed 5 cement bags. We're still going to get there, though. We're going to have $1,000 left to our name, which is not a ton of money, but better than nothing, I guess. Alright. One more bag to go. One more pallet of cement bags, I guess I should say. Might have been because we just clicked over to, oop, not close. Might have been because we just clicked over to, 1,500. So we got a little bit of money from one of our productions or generators of some sort, right? It could have been that. Anyway, that's it, gang. We're done for the day. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, I'd greatly appreciate a smash and a like to the subscribe button if you have not done so already. Both those things help me out an absolute ton, gang. More than you can possibly imagine. Thank you so much for your continued support. Thanks so much to everyone who's new here. Hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully you're having a good time. And yeah, we're making progress. It's slow progress. We're making progress. I know a lot of people have completed this series to this point, but that was never my intention. My intention was to have this series run for quite a while. Maybe one of the longest, if not the longest series we've done on the channel to date. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.